and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we are in a different location today. We're actually out in my living room because, as you can see from the title, I'm doing another book unhaul video. And so I have, I think, over 50 books. I haven't counted them yet, but I will after this video. But I have a lot of books, and all of them are out in my living room, so I didn't want to have to lug them all into my bedroom where I'd usually film videos to film this, so I figured I'll just film it out in my living room. The lighting is surprisingly not that bad considering I'm just using the light that's on the ceiling. It actually looks okay. However, the camera is a lot closer than I wanted it to be because I don't want you to see what's on either side of this bookshelf because it's ugly. Also, you can't see I'm wearing a Baby Yoda shirt, so appreciate that now. Okay, so we're out here in front of the bookshelf that I have in my living room, and basically I wanted to do this book unhaul because I know I just recently did a video on my channel where I did like a declutter my bookshelf with me, and I kind of showed you the books that I was unhauling in that video, but I didn't actually sit down and show them to you. And also in that video I told you guys that I had a huge bag full of books that I had already picked out to unhaul, so I'm going to be showing you those in this video as well. And I just figured I'd show you the ones that I did pull off my shelf in that video. Even though it's kind of a repeat, I figured that there are probably some people out there that weren't into that video and just prefer a good old-fashioned unhaul. So that is why I'm doing this today, but we are going to start off with the gigantic bag of books that I cannot even lift and show you those. First book we have is City of a Thousand Dolls. This is a book that I read and I didn't like it, but I held on to it for a very long time because of the title, not even the cover, just because I liked the title. Next we have Nightfall. This is another one that I just didn't super love. The Vanishing Game. It took me a second to figure out which was the right side up for this book. That was a little embarrassing, but another one I didn't really like, thought it was okay. Mage Against the Machine, sent to me unsolicited. A Map for Wreck Girls, DNF'd it. Something Strange and Deadly. This is one that I held on to for a long time because I heard some pretty good things about this book, but I've just never really been drawn to pick it up, so time to go. The Will in the Wilds, sent to me unsolicited. The Lost, I just don't have an interest in picking it up. The Lux, this is another DNF. Then we have a couple books in my favorite series, Fire World and Icefire. This is my favorite series, The Last Dragon Chronicles. However, I ordered these to get hardcovers because I own all of the books except for the last one in paperback, but these ones I didn't realize were turtleback classics or whatever the heck they're called, which are mostly like school and library editions, and I hate them. Like, the cover is just printed directly onto the book, so I'm getting rid of these ones or giving them away because I don't like them. Then we've got Jane Eyre, which I know I'm getting rid of, a classic. Also Frankenstein. Both of these are in the like paper mill press edition, but the covers came to me all kind of messed up. You can't really see on the camera, but I noticed them. So I already have so many editions of this book, so I figure I may as well just give those to somebody else. Everything. This is a book I didn't really like. Same with Remember Me. Also October Kiss. Didn't really like it. And you might have noticed I didn't do the usual like book unhaul disclaimer where you're like, I don't take offense because I didn't like these books. Like, why do we have to stink and apologize and tell people to not take offense because we don't have the same tastes as them? Like, why is this the only time that people forget how interests and tastes work? Like, some people just don't like a book. It's not a big deal. Then we have Etched, which this is a book that I actually did really like, and I also have the sequel in here somewhere, but I can't find it for some reason. But I did actually really like this book. I didn't like the sequel, so I'm just getting rid of both of them because somebody else will appreciate them more than I will. These Vicious Masks, this is another DNF. Geekerella, this is a book I didn't really like. Oracle Year, sent to me unsolicited or something. Here is the sequel to that other book, Hushed. Smoke and Summons, sent to me unsolicited. We also have Idiosyncratic. Ooh, I just threw it. This is another book that I did like, but it's just like a weird edition. It's like strangely short compared to other paperbacks, and I didn't like it enough to keep it, so that's gonna go. I also have quite a few Star Wars novels in here because I bought a bunch of these for like $1 at book sales or garage sales, but none of them are canon anymore, so there's only a very select few of them that I'm keeping to actually read. So this one is called The Paradise Snare. I also have 2 comic books of Star Wars, which I think these are actually canon, but I'm just not a comic book person really, or graphic novel, whatever these are called. So we have Chewbacca and Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I don't know, I may actually hang on to those. It's really hard for me to part with Star Wars. Then we have The Approaching Storm. This is another one that I think is not canon anymore. The Crystal Star, The Cestus Deception. Delirium, this is a book that I actually really liked, but I just never ended up continuing with the series, and I hate having unfinished series on my shelf, so that's gonna go. Smuggler's Run, this is another one that I think is canon, but this is more of like a children's, like more middle grade book, so it was okay, but I didn't love it, so it's gonna go. Then we've got Station Fasan. This is a book that I also really liked, and I was sent to it for a review, but I don't think I'll continue on with the series, and so, again, I don't like having unfinished series on my shelf. Then we have The Book of Flora, also sent to me unsolicited. I think it's a sequel also. Wings by April Lynn Pike. I did actually really enjoy this book, but I DNF'd the second one, so it's going. Smoke and Summons, which I'm pretty sure I already unhauled this book. So I guess I must have been sent this twice. Alright, well, that one's going as well. Firestar, this is another one of the Last Dragon Chronicle Turtleback books, so that's gonna go. The Last Command and their Star Wars novel, and then we have Royce Rolls, which is just another book that I bought and didn't ever pick it up, and I've lost interest at this point. Those are all the books that were in this massive Disney bag, so I'm going to put all those books back into there, and then we're going to go into the books that I took off my shelf the other day. Alright, so moving on to the other books which are up on the table here, we've got The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. This was a DNF. An Easy Death. This was sent to me unsolicited. Last Battle by C.S. Lewis. This is another one that's like, how are you getting rid of that book? But I own this book in 3 other editions, and this is the only book in this like edition of the books that I own. Like, I don't own any of the other books in this edition, so there's no point in just having this one on my shelf, so it's gonna go. We've got the complete Sherlock Holmes. Again, how could I be getting rid of this? But I've got it in like 3 or 4 other editions, and this one, just look at the cover. The cover's not that great, and then the inside, it's got illustrations, but it kind of looks like a dictionary, in my opinion. So that's gonna go. We have more Star Wars novels. This is the True Set, something I can't pronounce. Then we've got The Tangled Lands. This is another book that I didn't really like, but I kept it because of the cover. It's really, really pretty. Then we've got Dark Saber, another Star Wars one. YouTubers, this was sent to me unsolicited. Don't particularly feel like reading about YouTube right now. Then we've got The Chemist. This is another one that was very questionable for me to get rid of, but I didn't really like it. I just held on to it because I own all of her other books. And so I felt like I would have some kind of like incomplete series, even though none of them are part of the series, but I really didn't like this book, honestly. The Last of the Fire Drakes, this is another book that I didn't like, but I held on to it because the cover is just so beautiful. I mean, that's a nice cover, y'all. We've got Dream a Little Dream. This is a book that I bought and just never got around to reading and lost interest in. The Loneliest Girl in the Universe, loved this book, but I own it in hardcover, so I don't need the paperback. And I Darken, another book I loved, but I own it in hardcover, so I don't need that. Rebel of the Sands, this is an arc that I accidentally picked up from a book sale, and I just never got around to reading it. And I think I unhauled it once before, and then I rehauled it, and then I unhauled it. My Life Next Door, this is a book I read recently that I liked, but not enough to hold on to. Then we've got Torment, Fallen, and then I have one of the other books in this series somewhere in here. But this is books that I bought secondhand because I intended on reading them. I think this is the first one. But I'm just never going to get around to it. They've been sitting on my shelf for so long. Then we've got Batman Nightwalker. This is an ARC copy that's actually signed, so I was holding on to it for that reason, but I have a finished copy that is signed. So I don't need this. So I'm going to pass that along to somebody else. I'm going to pass that along to somebody else. Then we have The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. This is another book that I loved, but I have a finished copy of it, so I don't need the ARC. Then we've got Worlds in Deep Blue. This is a book I actually did really like, but I just kind of don't remember a lot about it, so I'm just going to pass it along to somebody else so they can enjoy it. Here's Passion, another book in that Fallen series. Then we've got the Eterna Files. This is another book that I just lost interest in before I ever got around to reading it. The Takedown, same situation. Then we've got Brazen. same situation, lost interest in it. Spin the Dawn, this was sent to me unsolicited, and I read a book by this author before and I didn't really like it, so that's just gonna go with somebody else. Once and for All, this is another book that I thought was okay, but I didn't like it enough to really hold on to it. European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman. This is a book that I am actually interested in reading, but this is the sequel, and I just have never gotten around to picking up the first one, and I don't think I ever will, so may as well just pass it along. And then we have Stronger, Faster, and More Beautiful. This is a book that was sent to me unsolicited. I'm not really interested in picking it up. So, those are all of the books. I'm going to have to count before I post this video and find out how many books I'm actually unhauling, but I'm pretty proud of myself. This is like some good spring cleaning right there. That is all for this video. I know I was being pretty sassy earlier, but please do not take offense if I unhauled your favorite book. Like I said, most of these books I honestly just lost interest in. I didn't even probably read half of these books, and also, again, we all just don't have the same tastes and interests, so because I didn't like a book doesn't mean that you are not going to like it or you didn't love it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?